Hi, I'm Jen Spencer, and this is Jen Spencer's 10-Minute Book Club. Hi, readers. I have such a fun interview for you today. I'm interviewing Mindy Strunk, who is a Regency romance author. She's also got some contemporaries. You're going to be able to hear all about her books, and we had just such a fun time talking. As always, if you leave a comment or ask a question in the comment section below, you'll be entered to win a copy of Mindy's new book, The Treasure of Owl's Roost Abbey, which sounds so fun. But you'll also be entered to win a copy of my book, Dandelion Meadows, which is a sweet romantic comedy set in a very quirky small town in Idaho. I hope you check both of them out. So I'm really excited today to introduce Mindy Strunk. Mindy, thank you for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to talk to you. Your name was recommended to me by another author, and there are so many I've never heard of who have these amazing, stellar careers, and so I wanted to hear all about you and your career. Tell me a little bit about yourself and your books.
Well, I actually got to writing later in my life. I'm not sure why I never thought of it, because I've never lived in reality in my entire life. I had an elevator in my closet as a child. And
Like for reals?
no,
Okay.
I drew the little dots on the paper with it had 120 floors. And then I taped it to the inside of my closet door, and I went all sorts of places in it. And so it's not like I've ever been real in my life. And I just never really thought about writing it down. But I was always a big reader. I love to read. Which is kind of funny because when I started to read, then I was always in the lowest reading group, always.
Really?
And so my mom worked and worked and worked to get me to be a good reader. And then I never looked back. It was just I read all the time. And so I didn't start writing actually until probably about 8 years ago now. Mm-hmm. And and it was funny, I was reading a book and a Regency, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if, because it had titles in it, and I was like, I wonder what would happen if one of these people who was supposed to inherit actually had moved to America. What would happen? And that all of a sudden became the story for my first book.
Oh, wow.
So it took a long time.
You just decided to put it on paper and...
Well, yeah, I was like, wait a minute, why I had to write this? I don't think anyone has. And so I was like, but then there was this, I don't even know what to do. And, when you're first starting out, you don't know where to even find resources.
Yeah.
And so it's not like I was in the writing community. And so I had no idea. So I just kind of started writing. I had no idea what I was doing. I just started writing. And it took a long time, because in that time, then I had 3 more kids. 2 of them were twins. Mm. And so, there were long gaps of no writing. But then one day, my sister knew I was writing, and she was like, hey, I saw this thing online. I don't even know what it is, but it's like a writer's conference. You should go to it. I was like, but I went that first year, and I was so intimidated, and I was so overwhelmed. I didn't stay down there. I actually came home every night, which was probably good that first year, because every night I would call my sister and I'd be like, oh, guess who I saw today? I saw this person. And I had to have that 45-minute drive home just to decompress and be like, oh my goodness. But it was the start of a really great thing. I met some great people that I'm still really good friends with, and that have really kind of helped me in my writing career. And now, so I published my first book at the end of 2018, and Monday I just released my 15th. So
wow.
Yeah, so it's been a little crazy. Yeah. So I think people, when you tell them that you're a writer, then they're like, oh, what a nice hobby. And they kind of think that you maybe write for an hour a day, and they're, but I don't think they ever realize that it's a full business. I'm managing everything, and there's a lot of balls in the air, and sometimes balls get dropped. But you know, you
And
take
that's
it.
okay. Even
So
the pros drop the ball now and then. So
yeah,
there we
well, you know. So
go.
it's not usually those aren't my prouder moments, but what do you do, right? You just
So
kind of go.
how old are your kids?
I have a pretty wide span. I've got 5 boys.
Oh, fun.
So I have two that are 24 and 22, and
Okay.
then I have a 10-year-old and then 8-year-old twins.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That is a span.
So
Well, so that's just I had all my kids were in school. I mean, I think my youngest was like 14 when I really got serious about writing. And
yeah.
do you have trouble finding that balance of family and writing?
Um, oh yeah, I don't know how you can't. Now it's better because all my kids are in school all day.
Yeah.
So I try most of the time to set it where I only work while they're at school. And
Mm.
then once they come home, then it's family time. It doesn't always work. Sometimes when I've got deadlines that I have editing I have to do, and I'm like, sorry, but I got to work tonight. But, and then they cry and are like, what do you do with work? And then I feel tremendous guilt, but it's days and then we move back onto our regular schedule.
That's okay. Little guilt, it's
You know,
motivating, I guess.
what would life be without a little guilt?
So COVID was kind of hard for me because we're empty nesters, but my husband worked from home
Mm.
and I have to have complete silence. And I have one place that I write because it's the most comfortable chair in the house. And he would come upstairs to eat lunch, and I would just be like so annoyed. Like, don't talk to me, don't make any noise. I have to be completely alone. I have to have complete silence. And so with kids, that was almost impossible.
And I think I'm the complete opposite. I cannot
Really?
write in complete silence for the most
Oh,
part. So I actually will play music if no one's home because I have to
yeah.
have something. My husband's like, how do you tune things out so well? And I'm like, I'm a mom. Of course I tune things out because all they do is, la, 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 I do not need to hear about Pokemon, so much. So yes, I do tune things out.
In-
And so I like having when my kids went to school, it was actually hard to get into the rhythm of writing for the first little while because it was so quiet.
so you had to turn on music probably
Yeah.
and just
So I started doing music soundtracks to listen to so that there was something.
interesting.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know authors who wear, noise canceling headphones. And I'm like, oh, how do you do that? All I can hear is like the blood in my ears.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, I
know?
can't do that either.
So, but I was lucky though. This last year we remodeled the whole main floor of our house. So I got my own office now.
Oh, nice.
So that's nice. So if I do have to work when people are home, I just shut the door and lock it. And I'm like, you're out there, I'm in here, leave me alone. So, so
Yeah, so
that,
I am sitting in my office, which we remodeled during COVID, and it's
yeah.
so great. And now my husband uses it for his work.
Oh, we made my husband his own. So
Oh,
we now have two home offices in my house. So
that's great.
yeah, that's because he's like, no, I do not want these walls. My walls are not going to be this color. And I was like, that's why it's my office.
I love those walls. I love
Everyone's
that
like,
color.
dark. And I'm like, no, it's so awesome. So, yeah.
Well, so tell us about this book.
So yeah, it's my newest release, and it is it's a Regency romance with a bit of a mystery. So it's the second in a series that are about kind of mysteries of these hidden treasures that people have. Because that's so realistic. We all have treasures somewhere, right? But no, it was interesting. I was doing some research for a contemporary novel, actually. And I was researching the Habsburgs, as you are wont to do for a contemporary novel. Anyway,
Yeah.
how you get to this point is kind of a thing. But anyway, so I came across this article about the diamond necklace scandal with Marie Antoinette. And it was fascinating to me
Mm.
because it's there's this, there was this diamond necklace that Louis the 15th had made for his mistress. And it was this super gaudy, but this elaborate, I mean, at that time, it was like 250 liras, 250,000 liras to make the necklace,
Wow.
which is like so much money. And there were
Yeah,
over 350 diamonds in the necklace. And anyway, so he had had it made for his mistress. Well, then he died before they finished it. So they took it to Louis the 16th and Marie Antoinette and said, you know, you want this? Because they were near bankruptcy from trying to find these diamonds. And she was like, no, I don't want his mistress's old necklace. So she said no. Anyway, as it turns out, then there was this con artist who looked enough like Marie Antoinette that she was able, or who found out about it and found a prostitute who looked enough like Marie Antoinette to play her. Anyway, they pulled this whole con and stole the necklace.
Wow,
So
that is fascinating.
it's fascinating. I know. I mean, who could make stuff like this up, right? So anyway, that was the basis for my first book, is I was like, oh my heck, I have to write a story about this. So I was like, now what do I do? So then I was madly searching the internet for different kinds of treasures. And so this one is based off of the treasure of Lima, which was, it was in South America, so Peru, basically. And what happened is, it actually is in 1820 when it happened, but I moved it forward a little bit for the timeline. But the viceroy of Lima was really worried that the natives were going to basically revolt, and he was afraid they'd take the treasure. So he took the entire treasure of the viceroy and loaded it on a ship to send back to Spain.
Wow.
Well, the captain of the ship and his crew decided that they didn't really like just being the transporters. So they killed all the soldiers and the priests that were guarding the treasure, basically pirated and threw them all overboard and took control of the ship and stole the treasure. And I mean, it had 2 life-size statues of Mary and the baby Jesus that were solid gold. If this tells you how like immense. There were, jewels and gold coins. And I mean, there was just so much treasure. It was huge. Well, a storm came and they took it to one of the islands by Costa Rica, or that's what they believe, and buried the treasure. And we're going to wait it out till kind of everything died down. And then they were going to go back and get it. Well, when they were leaving the island, they got arrested for piracy and hanged. Never got back to the treasure. So there's still this treasure that no one knows where it is. It's never been found. Still. Nope, still never been found. At least not as far as I've found. Because in my book, the treasure was on a boat that sunk as opposed to being buried. And so anyway, so that's what this one's based off of. And it's a treasure that the family doesn't know about. Only the father knew, but he's died. And so anyway, so the threatening letters start coming that say, we want the treasure. And she's like, we don't have a treasure. I don't know about it. Anyway, so it's kind of the story of that. And so it's kind of fun. It's a doctor. It's about a doctor, and the main girl, she's her mother was English, her father was a Spanish naval captain. And so, but they were living in England. So anyway, it's kind of fun. It's I swore I'd never write a doctor book because I think doctor books are boring. Tell my friends that all the time. Why would you write about a doctor? They're so boring. And there I go, writing about a doctor. And I kind of feel like I have to write like 4 more books with how much stupid research I had to do on doctors at the time. And like, to justify the time, I feel like now everyone has to be a doctor.
No kidding. I'm on board with 4 more doctor books if you feel like you have to do that.
Hopefully, I'm hoping he's not as boring, but so not to say now I've just been like, I wrote a doctor book and doctors are boring. So now I've kind of just said my book is boring. But that's where the mystery comes in. It makes it not boring. I'm a thinker.
You are a thinker, but you also, you know that there are so many medical shows. So most people do not think doctors are boring. So
It's a true
probably
story.
no one will think that your book is boring. I just wanted to ask you a couple of fun questions. What is your favorite romantic movie, or one of them?
My favorite, well, historical, it's Pride and Prejudice with Colin Firth. I am definitely Team Firth.
Yeah.
As far as regular, like romantic comedy, Just Like Heaven. I love Just Like Heaven.
Oh, with Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah, and
Where
Mark
she's
Ruffalo.
kind of dead, but
Yeah,
okay.
I love that show. I watch that one a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I also love like the Proposal. Because I mean,
Oh, with Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock and Ryan Reynolds. I mean,
Oh.
it's Ryan Reynolds.
I agree. I adore Sandra Bullock and I adore Ryan Reynolds. I think he's so good looking.
Yeah.
She's so charming. So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that is another really great movie. Okay, two good suggestions.
Thanks.
Two good suggestions. Okay, last question. You're stuck on a desert island. Would you rather have a lifetime supply of toilet paper or chocolate?
Oh, that's really hard because I am very picky about my toilet paper. Which is probably way more than anyone needed to know. But let's see. I'm gonna have to say chocolate though.
Okay.
Because I guess if you don't have a choice, you can get used to something else for toilet paper. But there's no replacing chocolate, right?
True. That is,
unless there was a cacao plant.
it's true, unless you could find something.
Then I could have Creole Brew Plus. I could figure out a way to make chocolate, right? I don't know where I'd get milk. I don't know, but you know, we'll hedge our bets on that one and say depends. What kind of an island? What resources do I have?
Yes, what resources do you have on the island? Right. Because yeah, there might be chocolate there already. Who knows?
Yeah. Yes. Because I'm a researcher, so you know, I have to know all of these, all the qualifications before I'm going to make an educated guess or a decision.
That's so great. Well, Mindy, thank you. It's been a pleasure. So much fun talking about you and your books, and readers, check it out. Remember, if you ask a question or leave a comment in the comment section below, you'll be automatically entered to win the treasure of Owl's Roost Abbey. Dang it.
I know, isn't that a lame name? That's what you get for using a name generator.
I love it.